Maybe this has been your experience lately. You sit down to get something done and you just feel overwhelmed. You can't focus the way you used to, your mind feels scattered, and even simple things start to feel like too much. And you're thinking to yourself, what on earth is wrong with me? So let's talk about what's actually going on here and why this feels so different in this season of midlife. What I see most often is this: women who enter perimenopause used to be able to handle a lot and are now feeling more overwhelmed, more forgetful, more mentally drained. And what makes it even harder is they just are feeling like they don't recognize themselves anymore. They start questioning themselves with questions like, why can't I keep up? Why does everything feel harder? And that's where the frustration really sets in. And the mistake I see most often is this: that women assume this is a mental problem. But what's actually happening is that your brain is under more stress than it used to be. And in this season of midlife, your body is less able to handle constant pressure the way it once did. So when your system is overloaded, your brain responds by slowing things down, not because something is wrong, but because it's trying to protect you. So let's dig a little deeper here. Overwhelm in perimenopause isn't just about having a lot on your plate. It's what happens when your brain is trying to keep up but doesn't have the energy or support it needs to do it well. And in this season, there are real changes happening in your body that affect that. For example, your hormones are shifting, your sleep is often lighter or even more interrupted, and your body is under more daily stress than it used to be. So your brain is working with less support while still trying to handle the same responsibilities. And when that happens, it starts to feel like everything is just piling on at once. That's when you notice things like when you sit down to focus and your mind feels scattered, or you walk into a room and you've completely forgotten why you went in there. And simple decisions start to feel harder than they really should. Not because you can't handle life anymore, but because your brain is running on less than it used to. And when that keeps happening day after day, even normal life can start to feel overwhelming. And this is also why it feels so frustrating, because no one really prepares you for this season. There's no instruction manual that shows up one day and says, "Hey, you're now entering perimenopause, and here's what's about to change, and here's how to handle it." So instead, you're just trying to figure it out as you go, just like so many other women. And a lot of women I sit across from are really hard on themselves during this time because they're used to being the ones that hold everything together, the one who remembers everything, and the one who gets things done, the one who everyone else depends on. So when that starts to feel harder, they usually don't think, maybe something's shifting in my body. They start to think, what's wrong with me? And then on top of that, little things start to feel bigger than they should. You might even notice things that never used to bother you suddenly do, like your husband's chewing. You're sitting there thinking, has he always chewed this loudly? Or your kids are doing normal things and you feel yourself getting irritated way faster than you used to. And you know nothing around you has really changed, but your capacity to deal with it has. And that's the part that feels confusing because you still expect yourself to function the same way you always have, but your body is asking for something different now. And this is where I want to gently bring you back to something that really matters in this season. You don't have to carry this all on your own. When your mind feels overwhelmed, when everything feels heavier than it should, when you're sitting there thinking, I can't keep up like I used to. This is where you lean in closer to God, not pull away from Him. Because God reminds us in His Word, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." And that's not just spiritual language, it's an invitation to stop trying to hold everything together by yourself, an invitation to bring the mental load, the stress, the pressure, and lay it all down and give it to God. Because the truth is, God is not asking you to push harder in this season. He's actually asking you to depend on Him more, to slow down, create space, and trust that even when things feel out of control, He is not. And when you start to live from that place, your mind begins to settle. Not because everything around you suddenly changes, but because you're no longer carrying it alone. All right, so instead of trying to push through and do more, I shift things with my clients. We simplify because most women I work with are trying to keep up with a list of things that's way too long. So instead of 10 or 20 things, I have them do something very simple. Write down three things. That's it. Three things that actually matter for that day. And when those three things are done, you're done. You can look at your day and say, I followed through. I moved forward. Because what keeps your mind overwhelmed is constantly feeling like you're behind. But when you focus on fewer things and actually complete them, your brain starts to feel safe again. It starts to feel like, okay, I can actually handle this. And this is why I created my Stronger Again, a perimenopause guide because it gives you a simple structure, not just for workouts and nutrition, but it gives you a starting point that takes the pressure off trying to figure out everything at once. So go ahead and grab that from the description below. All right. So I had a client who told me once, feel like I can't keep up with my own life anymore. And what we found wasn't that she needed more motivation, she needed more structure. Once we simplified her routines, supported her nutrition, and focused on consistency with the small things rather than doing more, her mental overwhelm began to lift. Not overnight, but steadily. And here's what I want you to really take away with you. Feeling overwhelmed in this season of perimenopause right now doesn't mean you're failing. It means something needs to be adjusted. Your pace, your structure, your expectations may no longer match what your body needs in this season. And once you start making those small shifts, things begin to feel more manageable. Your mind feels clearer, your days feel more doable, and you stop feeling like you're constantly behind. So if you've been sitting there thinking, I just need to get it together, this is your reminder that you don't need to push harder. You need a better approach. And remember, if you want a simple place to start with that, make sure to download my free download, Stronger Again in Perimenopause, linked in the description below. It will walk you through how to begin supporting your body in a way that actually works in this season. Now, for many women, the next thing they notice after this is, okay, I understand why I feel overwhelmed. But why can't I stay consistent anymore? Why do I feel like I start strong and then fall off again? And that's exactly what I walk through in this next video, how brain fog and inconsistency are connected in this season and what you can start doing about it. So make sure to check that out next.